So, as we said before, your reticular activating system is your built in filter because every second that you exist from before birth to now and beyond is you're being bombarded with millions of bits of information, millions of bits of information. Like, think about what does it feel like that your body and your chair, what does that feel like? How you're sitting? How are you sitting forward? Are you sitting backwards? What's the air temperature? Are you cold? Are you hot? All of that. Is the lighting too bad or not bright enough? All of that information is being filtered into the reticular activating system. All the sights, sounds, even smells, feelings, everything that's going on in your body is being filtered through your reticular activating system. And your RAS decides what's important and what to ignore. It is
Mhm.
based on what you consistently focus on or believe to be important. That's one of the reasons why it's so important in manifestation. So it's like telling your assistant, "Hey, I'm looking for a red car." And your assistant goes out and searches for all these red cars and brings back to you proof that other red cars exist. And then you get to choose which red car you want. And then you get to choose which red car is the best for you. So it says, "This matters. Show me this. This is important. Show me this." And it works the same way with your goals and your desires and your dreams. So when you repeatedly think about something and you visualize it, you attach emotion to it, your reticular activating system starts scanning your environment and starts showing you and proving to you, yes, this exists. Yes, this is important. We're going to bring this information to you so that you can choose. And it's a confirmation of what you are exposing yourself to and what thought process you're expanding in your brain. So in manifesting, this is one of the key tools that help you align with your inner focus. With your inner focus aligns with your outer reality using your reticular activating system. And normally that happens unconsciously. We don't really have to think about that because our reticular activating system just does it. Later on, we're going to teach you how to do it consciously. Those are our exercises for today. So, the key functions of the reticular activating system are arousal and alertness. It maintains the state of alertness and wakefulness by modulating your cerebral cortex, the activity in your cerebral cortex. It also plays a vital role in consciousness by maintaining that awareness, what you are conscious of. It also helps you focus your attention and intention. And if you go back, I can't remember the episode, we talked a lot about intention and how that shifts and works to your betterment. The attention and focus helps filter out the irrelevant information, the irrelevant sensory information in our bodies and in our outer awareness. And it also helps regulate your sleep cycle, your sleep wake cycle. And it acts as a gatekeeper, deciding which sensory information goes to your higher brain functions and what information it's going to process. So the RAS receives that sensory input from various parts of the body and the external environment. And then, depending on what's going on, depending on your belief systems and what's going on in your subconscious, it filters out which it thinks is important and which it doesn't think is important. Not necessarily what we might think is important, what it thinks. And it analyzes this information and determines that. And then it sends signals to your cerebral cortex, increasing, or decreasing activity levels, depending on the situation. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So, Susan, you have an example?
Yeah, so I am kind of pretty honored and excited actually that I have a session on the Positive Prime platform. It's been around for a while, and what that platform is, it's positively priming your brain, your sensory system, and it's completely RAS science based. And so what these sessions are, which I have one called "Becoming Your Magnificent Self," its whole premise is there are certain images that speak more openly to open up your brain and your system to receive. There's like it's like a canopy of trees. They call them Duchenne smiles. There's certain visuals that you see, and they create an emotion and a feeling and a bringing in of that positivity. And so it's again, it's training your brain with these images and words, and they have a bunch of phrases and words for what again, how that interacts with your brain to positively connect and bring in those messages. It has your name shows up as you're watching these sessions because then your body, your mind responds to it, knowing, yeah, this is me. This is for me. And then there's different things that you might want to manifest. And by showing those, whether it's better relationships, whether it's something that you want, like a car or a house or money, it's those images that evoke that possibility as being true. And its premise is really that you can watching a 3-minute positive prime session is truly like 6 to 8 hours of positive moods, attitudes, energy that your body is responding for, literally 6 to 8 hours. And so you're feeding all of this amazingness that's priming your brain through the reticular activating system to direct your whole being to these possibilities of these results that are truly positive and transformative for you. So I watch these myself, at least once a day, and you can feel that change in energy and positivity in your whole system. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely contact me because it is a tool that is exactly what this, that we're talking about today is useful for in a accelerated, amazing, science-based way.
Well, and that flows, I mean, that's amazing. And that flows directly into our next little topic is what you focus on expands. And that's what the reticular activating system is doing for you because it's filtering out all the what it then says is irrelevant and it's giving you what you're focusing on. And there's a caveat to this because it's also going to work to your betterment or your detriment. So you're going to find all over the internet information to confirm what you're focusing on. So that's why I just told a student this weekend not to believe everything you read on the internet. So think about this. Think about the Facebook or Instagram algorithm. You click on a post, even if it's not one of your friends, you click on a post and all of a sudden you're getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more of that information. That's exactly what your reticular activating system is doing. It's expanding what you're focusing on. It's the same concept. So you have to be careful and monitor what you're focusing on. And I loved what you said with the Positive Prime platform is that you're training your brain to focus on more positive instead of negative information.
Right. Yeah. No, I'll just add to what you were saying about this what you focus on expands. A lot of people and a number of my clients that kind of have a worst case scenario
Yep.
focus. And so, they might have something physical going on, pain in their elbow. And it was like, okay, so we're gonna, when we have our session, we're gonna go in and kind of look at what the roots of that might be. But in the meantime, she's, zipped onto to the internet and said, "Okay, what are all these possibilities of what could be causing this pain in my elbow?" And it was, I mean, pretty serious things going on that were possibilities of what could have caused that. And so she's creating those almost those
Mhm.
possibilities and making her evidence show that things were really going to be worse. And luckily, I kind of stopped her before she got too far into that and kind of brought her back into no, let's look at what the possibilities are for you, not the worst case scenarios. Because if you go that pathway, your reticular activation system will filter it and find evidence that that worst case scenario is there. And so you were creating that to your detriment, just as you said. "Ah, don't do it."
Yeah, yeah, don't do it. I'm gonna give you another example, and this is a personal example of my husband. He's a teacher, but he teaches in a different area now. But when he taught ninth and 10th grade English, and he's like, nobody listens to me. Not kids. He loved his relationship with the kids. But he's like, the administration doesn't listen to me and they don't respect me, and none of the teachers listen or respect me. And I have all these ideas, and it just kept going on. And it made it a lot, this whole thing made it a lot more difficult about respect because his dad was the principal of a school district for 23 years, and then he was deputy superintendent, and he was a very well respected man in his community. And when he passed away, they shut down the high school so everyone could attend his service. So that showed a lot of respect. So he understood what my husband had, an example of what it meant to be respected by his peers. And I'm like, husband, this is your reticular activating system that you're focusing on, that it's focusing on to your detriment. Let's start shifting that so we can get it to your betterment. And it didn't happen overnight, but little by little, in any conversation he had with his colleagues, things started getting better. And he's like, oh, we implemented my idea. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean you implemented your idea? You just said like a couple of weeks ago people weren't listening to you. Oh, no, no, everything's much better now. And I went, okay. Okay. And then when he actually he decided to leave that school and not renew his contract, and what actually happened was five other teachers left after him. And I went, husband, if no one respected you, they wouldn't have followed you. You helped them make that decision by shifting that thought process and shifting what was being filtered into your reticular activating system from your detriment to your betterment. And he looked at me, he's like, I hadn't thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah, honey, this is exactly what I do for my clients. And and now he's very well respected in his area of expertise, and that's teaching. And it's just a wonderful example of when you start employing some of the things that Susan and I do, how fast, and we're talking a matter of weeks, how fast things can shift and how fast the reticular activating system can start filtering information and bringing information to you to your betterment. How cool is that?
Nice. Oh, great example.